charisma.
Good evening and welcome to this special and without question unusual Dr. Edward A. Crown Scholarship Dinner of the Ida Crown Jewish Academy. Tonight, we celebrate not only Shelley Stopek's exceptional career as an educator, Dr. David and Debbie Dopkins' leadership in our school and our community, and the memory of Sam Bernstein Zal, a young man whose music and life touched so many. But we also celebrate all of you, everyone who is able to join us this evening, everyone who has been part of the glorious 77-year history of the Ida Crown Jewish Academy, and everyone who understands the critical role our school plays in the life of the Jewish and general community worldwide. But before we celebrate, we must also take note of all who have been affected by this pandemic and pray that God grant us the strength to overcome these heretofore unimagined challenges. And may He grant a full recovery, a refuat nefesh and refuat guf, to all who have taken ill. Tonight, as much as we are separated from one another, the fact that we can join together to celebrate and support our school, the reality that our students continue to study and learn both Torah and Madah each and every day, is a testament to our resolve and our commitment to a life of meaning and purpose, and to a school, a Torah institution that continues to inspire and enrich the lives of so many in communities near and far. One such shining example of inspiration is our student-to-student program, a project imagined and begun as part of an idea incubator of the Orthodox Union and NCSY, led by our own Mrs. Alyssa Zephyrin. Student to Student is not only a powerful and meaningful program, but it was just recognized by the JUF with a Day School Innovation Fund grant. It's a story of what our students can do, and it is the very first ICJA story we share with you this evening.
When Mrs. Zephyrin brought us the idea of student to student, I remember I was like in love.
Student to Student is a program where Jewish teens are trained to present in schools where there's low to no Jewish population. And they talk about their lives as Jewish teens to educate about Judaism in a meaningful way that will maybe even have a life-changing impact on not only the audiences that we present to, but also on the Jewish teen presenters themselves.
A value in the Torah is called V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha.
Each group of student-to-student presenters will have 2 or 3 modern Orthodox high schoolers from Ida Crown, in addition to at least one teenager from a Reform or conservative youth.
We talk about the Jewish life cycle, we talk about Shabbat, we talk about the Holocaust.
So like God, we also rest on the 7th day, so Saturday every single week.
To me, Judaism is so natural and I've grown up with it. And I think that when students ask these questions about things they don't know, it really just opens my eyes and it makes me feel like I'm helping.
We have a very small Jewish population at Central. I'm literally the representation of what Judaism looks like. It was just really cool to show the kids that we're not all the same, but we all have the same values.
And it was nice to have high schoolers talk to you instead of a teacher.
Most of the foods that you're probably eating are probably kosher, and you don't even realize it.
It's nice to have someone who's your age talk to you about something that you don't know much about.
This is yet another way that we can, bring the content out of the proverbial textbook and have students interacting with other students.
They hear from other students, and to see how these elements of Judaism affect their high school lives, they can relate it better to their own lives and see the connections between the religions that they practice.
In a Jewish wedding, the bride would walk around the groom 7 times, and I hope that student to student leaves these Naperville students with a sense of what it means to be Jewish, so they understand that Jews are individuals, it's not some entity, and that it's more personal.
This presentation gives me a lot more of an opportunity to show who I am, show my beliefs, and relearn more things about myself, how Judaism will help impact my life in many ways throughout the rest of my life.
My one hope for the students that are listening to our presentation is that the next time they encounter a Jew, they see them as a real person too, and they relate to them, and they maybe smile a little wider because they have something they can relate to.
Student to Student creates an opportunity for these students to discuss their Jewish identities, and I love watching how each of them really come alive when they talk about the different things that motivate them in their Jewish lives and the way that they interact with the audiences. And I really believe that this program prepares them to be lifelong leaders in their Jewish communities and in the broader world.
Before I introduce our next segment, I want to extend our thanks to the Crown family for their continued support of our school. We're very honored to bear the name of their matriarch, Ida Crown. And I also want to thank the Bernard Heary Foundation for its continued scholarship support of our students. And of course, Acharon Chaviv, our Jewish Federation, the Jewish United Fund of Metropolitan Chicago, their multi-million-dollar support of Jewish education in general, and over $500,000 allocation to our scholarship fund helps assure that every child in our community can receive a Jewish education, no matter a parent's financial ability. Which leads me to my next introduction of a person I have known literally my entire life, and who I am honored to have not only as my big sister, but as a teacher at ICJA. Shelley Stopek is an educator who every day makes a difference in the lives of her students, and who sets the standard for dedication, devotion, and commitment. While she may have been a little tough on me when I was younger, and I may be a little tough on her now that we're older and I'm her boss, she deserves to be honored by all of us. Please join me in watching this tribute to Shelley Stopek, our Educator of the Year.
An advocate is a person who brings out the best in an organization or a person.
I think an advocate means to me is someone who sticks up for their own personal beliefs and what they think is right.
It's teaching by being an excellent role model.
That person would always put the other people in front of themselves.
It's done with a smile. It's done because you know it's for the good of the Jewish future, of the team, of the students.
Shelley Stopek is the strongest advocate that we have in the building.
My parents moved into West Rogers Park so that we could be 2 blocks from the academy, which was being built. When I was a freshman, the academy was located on Melrose. And my class moved into the new academy on Pratt when we were juniors. And it was beautiful. We couldn't get over how beautiful the building was and how modern the building was. It was very exciting. Fast forward, I became a teacher. I've taught Tanakh, freshman algebra. I've taught consumer education and economics. I'm now teaching Ivrit. I've worked with students in the academic services department. One of the first things I do on the first day of school is give my students my cell number. And I tell them that I'm always available to them, whether or not it has to do with the subject that I'm teaching or something else. The way I view teaching is it's all about relationships.
Shelley's a professional She is someone who cares tremendously for her students. She cares tremendously for the Academy. She's a graduate. She's an alum. She's the only big sister of the principal who's ever worked in this school. And she's somebody who makes a difference in the lives of so many.
One of my earliest memories regarding Mrs. Stopek was a Bible department meeting. And she was teaching some fairly challenging students, and she felt like perhaps it wasn't a good fit. And so she said to the department chair, Rabbi Myers at the time, "You know, I just don't think you understand my problem." And Rabbi Myers, without missing a beat, said, like, "Careful, Shelley, he's your brother." So yeah, she's funny that way.
She's the first person to help a student. She's the first person to stay late. She works above and beyond her normal hours, and she gives it 100%.
There's two ways of teaching. There's the covert and the overt. And the overt is your lesson plan and what you do in the classroom. And she's meticulous in that, don't get me wrong. But what impresses me most about Shelley is her covert way of teaching. She's always modest, she's always humble, she's always kind, she always smiles, and students connect to that.
Freshman year, when I first started here, I was so unfamiliar with the kind of testing because it's so much more demanding than middle school. So she really tried to make sure I was comfortable. She gave me oral testing. She always sat with me before test and after test to make sure I was completely comfortable with the material.
Hebrew, Chumash, Navi, she really knows it all. And she's, again, very patient about helping every single student with and meet their needs.
Came into high school from a public school, so she was very helpful in terms of being sort of an advocate for me in the Jewish setting and just making me feel comfortable and like I knew what was going on. And Mrs. Stopek was very helpful in terms of staying afloat and not feeling like I was drowning the entire time.
Ms. Stopek always has like a few jokes she likes to crack in the beginning of the class. That gets all the students in a happy mood and a fun mood, and now we're ready to learn, and she just brings the joy into learning.
I think Mrs. Stopek really understands today's students as well as she did yesterday's students. I think they've come to trust her. They know that she is pulling for them. And I think what they're responding to is they feel like she's going to set expectations because she believes they can do great things.
Today, for instance, I was talking with one of my students in my last period class, and he said, "Mrs. Stopek is my favorite teacher." And I looked at him, he says, "Okay, after you." But I said, he says, "Mrs. Stopek makes it easy. She wants the best in her students."
You know, to always be able to look back and think about those teachers who really made a difference, who even if you couldn't stand the subject matter that they taught, you knew that they were there for you and they had their back. I mean, it's life-changing. So I think it's so important for these students to have that person, and they're lucky that Mrs. Stopek is one of them.
We're an Academy family. All of my siblings are graduates of the Academy. I have had the pleasure of teaching nieces and nephews and cousins. One of my sons graduated from the Academy. The Academy is a part of my life. What I like most is the relationship that I have with my students, the relationship that I have with my colleagues, the relationship that I have with Academy staff. I believe that a teacher needs to be an advocate for students. It's not about teaching material. It's about helping someone learn, not just in the classroom, but it's outside of the classroom. It's about the material, but it's really, I'm going to say it again, it's about the relationship. Really, that's what it's all about.
Shelley, on behalf of both your biological family and your Academy family, and with your mother and mother-in-law watching at this moment, Sheping Nachas, it is my honor to present to you from a distance a menorah, a gift that represents the light of Torah, the light you have shared with others, and to present you to all of us at this moment now as the ICJA, the Ida Crown Jewish Academy Educator of the Year. Mazel Tov, Shelley.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for sharing this virtual evening with me. I wish that I could have thanked each one of you in person, although I'm sure that you're probably gratified to be at home in your comfortable clothes. I'm humbled by this honor. Thank you to the Ida Crown administration for this recognition. Thank you to my students for helping me embrace new ideas and challenges. To their parents, who have given me the greatest honor by entrusting me with their children. And to my colleagues and Ida Crown staff for their collaboration, support, and friendship. And to my family, to my husband, Eddie, our children and grandchildren. Thank you for putting up with countless hours of preparing and designing and grading, sometimes even at the expense of our family time. To the Bernsteins and the Dopkins, it's an honor to share this evening with you. May we continue to support all of the wonderful things that are done at Ida Crown.
Thank you, Shelley. Over the years, Ida Crown has become much more than a school. We become home to our students, and therefore have expanded our services to them, not only in the realm of academics, but also in programs that address their social and emotional needs. One of our newest programs is our Mechanchim program, a team of educators who are in school, not just in the mornings, but in the afternoons, to learn with students, sometimes just to schmooze with them, and often to offer them an additional avenue to expand their spiritual horizons. For girls in the school, these mechanchot, along with alumna and our other senior staff, created ICGC, the Ida Crown Girls Club, with one simple goal in mind: to add one more space for girls to hone their leadership skills and to create community. We thank the Walder Foundation for funding this program, and I invite you to learn more about it in this second episode of ICJA Stories.
So ICGC was brought to Ida Crown as a place for the, wait, can I move my arms? Okay, I don't want to be so stiff, okay.
ICGC is a club that brings together the girls from different grades, different ages, different personalities.
It's a club for all the Ida Crown girls to get together and basically just have fun out of like the school building, not the building, but
for freshmen coming in and seniors who are going to leave, it's kind of something that just keeps everyone united.
It also creates a space for the girls to just be themselves, feel comfortable, be together, and really develop those relationships even further that are so famous in high school.
I think the activities that they come up with are very creative.
We had a movie outside on the lawn, and it was actually our first ICGC event ever. So when we all got together and really got to know what it was like to be with each other out of school, that was really meaningful.
You have a chance to build relationships with other girls, so it's not just the activity, but you also get to form relationships.
Tonight we're at a Purim Chagiga, a Purim party, and we're gonna have a huge dance party.
The girls came to us and said that there's nothing for girls in the city of Chicago. They want to be able to do something Purim night after they're finished breaking their fast, after they finish hearing the Megillah, and so the event was born for them.
We have a leadership board of girls from each grade that recruit a lot of the girls, and they come up with ideas, and it gives girls an opportunity to kind of take charge and see their decisions coming into play.
We get together maybe once a month for lunch, and we really just talk about what's working and what isn't working. And it makes me feel like a leader in my school.
Mrs. Kraft and Mrs. Hajjaj are the two heads of ICGC.
They're amazing. The opportunity for me to hang out with the girls outside the classroom is just something really special. I feel like I really can connect to them on a different plane, on a different level, talk to them in ways that we can't really speak to each other in the classroom. We've added such an impactful piece to the Ida Crown experience.
Ida Crown definitely encourages reaching out and trying to make a bigger impact on not only the school, but your community. Planning and being involved in ICGC gives you a sense of ownership and being a part of something bigger than just yourself.
As I'm nearing the end of my 25th year as the head of school at Ida Crown, I can look back and realize how blessed I am to have worked with the most talented and dedicated lay leadership in Chicago. In the realm of development, our Society of Patrons program has led our donors to new successes. This year, they've already raised over $1 million for our scholarship funds. There's still a little way to go, but this is an amazing achievement. Thank you to our SOP chairs, Jane and Eddie Best, and Barbara and Dr. Steve Geller. Thank you to our development chairs, Jenny Rothner and Max Wasserman. And of course, to our dinner chairs, who created a dinner that wasn't exactly supposed to be like this, but is an amazing success. Natan Azarov, Dana and Rabbi Yaakov Danishevsky, Liz and David Geifman, Julie and George Lennon, Shana and Moshe Ovitsky, Charlene and David Sales, and Leslie and Tom Silverstein. We're so fortunate that our board is so committed to our school and always seeks new ways to enhance our abilities to engage our students and provide the finest college prep and Jewish education in the nation, led with great talent and dedication by our president and ICJA alum, Mickey Jonah Schreiber. They have embarked on an ambitious new strategic plan that we hope to unveil in the coming months. But in truth, each of my board presidents have brought so much to the table. Each has enriched our program and taught me so much, which is the perfect segue to our next segment. As we pay tribute to our past board president and parents of alumni, Dr. David and Debbie Dopkin. As you'll hear, the Dopkins are the kind of communal leaders we all cherish. People who are talented, committed, willing to roll up their sleeves and work while always keeping an eye on the prize to prepare the next generation of Jewish leadership with a school that can challenge and inspire them. Please turn your attention to our video tribute to Debbie and Dr. David Dopkin.
I think a leader has to be really in tune with the community that they're serving.
Someone who's a leader for everyone, who notices everyone, cares about everyone, and is there for everyone.
Someone who can be strong enough to take the ideas of other people and make them happen.
Someone who takes responsibility for the community, someone who takes responsibility for their families.
I think that care is a very big part of leadership. It's not just being a doer.
They're the leaders who take center stage and move everyone. They're leaders who stand in the back and push people forward. And they're leaders who stand up and serve as role models for all of us to emulate. The Dopkins are that latter group.
We got involved in the academy when our oldest daughter entered there in 2001. Throughout my life, I've been surrounded by people who've gone to the academy, clearly had a great education, but they also had something I didn't have. They had a strong Jewish education, and they were able to balance both.
I really didn't have any idea about day school. And then we started to talk about it and realized that as our children get older, they're going to be making more choices on their own. And I wanted them to have a very firm foundation and a good education to know who they are and to be able to then make those choices accordingly.
Ida Crown gave our children an outstanding Jewish education as well as an outstanding secular education.
What was remarkable to me is how the secular and the religious sort of were woven together. So it wasn't like a dichotomy. But when we live a Jewish life, it's in the world and it's through a Torah lens. And so that was something that I felt far outweighed anything that they could have gotten in a public school.
Their closest friends, I would have to say, are all Ida Crown graduates. Lasting friendships from Ida Crown, which is, for us is wonderful. And as you know, your friends in high school tend to be your lifelong friends, and they all had the same values growing up, and for that we're grateful.
I've known the Dobkins ever since their eldest daughter came to the academy. They're an extraordinary couple because they're leaders, but they lead with quiet strength.
They're a team that are always trying to help people, and they're not looking for, the kavod, not looking for the honor. They really just want to help.
I saw that from day one, not just attending, but being involved in and being a part of and leading and helping, build the community that they were looking for.
They're the perfect team. They have a unified vision, and they always seem to have the same priorities and goals, even though they function in different ways.
They're a fabulous team. First of all, Debbie we all call her Sunshine. She's just always happy. She always has a smile for everybody. She always sees the brightest possible outlook.
Dave's the leader. He was instrumental in helping create Chitzim in Northbrook. He's the guy in the room that when people look around and they say, well, what do we do next? He knows what to do next, and he then does it.
And on top of that, they have a big family.
It's inspiring to see how much they're present for their own family and for our families. If you'd want this publicized, but my dad is like the unofficial pediatrician for all my friends. Like they'll call him and text him and,
This is where his number flashes at the bottom.
My father has that doer personality, and she's the one who is that caring person behind him.
Not to say that he's not caring.
Gosh. My parents grew up in homes of leaders, and they saw their own parents, whether it was leading in their shuls or in their businesses or in their communities. They saw different examples of what it means to be a leader in each of them. Growing up, they definitely did show me how to show up for your community. Very humble and understated, and just they do it because they care.
In addition to being examples for the community, my parents have been excellent examples for me. They've taught me what it means to give people the benefit of the doubt and the meaning of hard work. They lead a great example of what it means to lead a Jewish life.
No matter what specific path we chose, they were proud of who we were becoming, because our Judaism was clearly important to us, and that's something that I respect very much.
We're grateful to Ida Crown Academy for the education they gave our children. The people they've become, we attribute a lot of that to their experience during their 4 years there.
To the institution itself, to the administration, to the teachers and counselors who have supported our children, we are grateful to have this opportunity to say thank you, to show our gratitude for everything that Ida Crown Jewish Academy does. We're all one people, and we have to support each other, and it's important for every child who wants one to be able to get a Jewish education.
For our young people to have mentors and Rebbeim and wonderful role models, Jewish day school education is the future. It is vital to support it, to work for it, to do what we can to make this an institution that will be around for years and decades to come, and Baruch Hashem will flourish.
Debbie and David, Chazal teach us mitzat shfacho shel adam lefanav, that one should only express a small amount of praise directly to another. Often, this is understood to mean that we should hold back to preserve a person's humility. But in your case, it's just the reality. We could never, never fully express our praise and our thanks for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. You are like the menorah we'll be presenting to you, a menorah that is Mosif V'holech, that we light one candle on the first night of Hanukkah and then continue to move forward, adding and adding and adding. You are cherished advisors, outstanding leaders, and good friends. Thank you for letting us honor you with the Crown Leadership Award this evening. And now, to give you a few moments to respond.
Erev Tov, we are very happy to be here with you tonight. A big thank you goes to the Scholarship Dinner Committee for quick thinking and creative efforts in recalculating this event, given the roadblock brought on by the coronavirus. Baruch Hashem, we can still all be in the same room together, just not the room that we were expecting.
We feel honored to accept the Crown Leadership Award and privileged to have this opportunity to publicly thank the Academy, the administration, and the faculty who played such a key role in guiding our children as they prepare to make their contributions in the world as Jews.
It is important to us that Ida Crown Jewish Academy grow and thrive in order to continue to guide and inspire future generations of Jewish children.
We'd like to send virtual hugs to the Bernstein family for the establishment of the music program in memory of their beloved son, Sam, Zichrono Livracha, and to Shelley Stopek, this year's Educator of the Year. We'd also like to thank all of you who took a break from watching the COVID-19 news conferences. Thank you to our family and to our friends and to the entire Ida Crown family who tuned into tonight's virtual dinner. We hope that you enjoyed the dinner and the entertainment.
We wish you all a
Chag Kasher V'Sameach.
Thank you, David and Debbie. 3 years ago, I met a young man named Eugene. He came to Ida Crown with his mother and his rabbi, Rabbi Moskowitz, to see if our school would be a good fit for him. At the time, Eugene was attending public school, but he was excited about his Judaism and was learning with his rabbi and wanted the best possible general and Jewish education. Of course, we accepted him, just as we have accepted students from all backgrounds since 1942. But there was one more thing that Eugene needed. He was a talented musician, and his mother wanted him to be able to continue to advance in his musical studies. Today, Eugene is Moshe, and this is his ICJA story.
When I was in second grade, I saw my friend playing violin, and I said, wow, that was really cool. So I asked my mom if I could start playing violin, and ever since then, I've been loving it. Violin is a form of expressing yourself, and it's almost like a second language. When I made this transition from public school to Ida Crown, there aren't too many orchestras that rehearse on a Sunday, but it so happened to be that CYSO does.
Eugene came to audition for the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestras, and he made it into the Philharmonic Orchestra. So we've been working together in the Philharmonic Orchestra, which I conduct, this has been a year and a half.
Every Sunday, I take the train, the 7:30 or the 9:30 train downtown, and I walk from Union Station to Michigan Avenue. It's around 20 minutes. For an hour we rehearse, and then orchestra rehearsal starts, and that's from 12 to 2:30. I also did a chamber program last year, which was from 3 to 5, and that was a lot of fun.
Eugene has a strong commitment to, I think, everything that he does, but specifically here to this music program and to our lessons. I really enjoy working with Eugene. He's a an amazing young man, and it's a treat for me to work with him.
Ida Crown definitely fostered my passion for music. We have a band room at our school and some very talented musicians, and I love to get to jam with them every Thursday with our band director, Mr. Jake Person. The work that I do here definitely spills into what I do in high school, because music teaches you dedication, persistence. It teaches you to be patient, and it teaches you that if you are patient, you will get results. That spills into my academics. The process of learning is very difficult, but because I have experience in how to learn and what it takes to take on a new subject, I'm able to use my skills I learned to violin and apply it to things like physics. And Ida Crown definitely has an environment where you learn to love learning. I never had a doubt in my mind ever since I shadowed Ida Crown in 8th grade that I wouldn't be in an environment where my teachers wouldn't see the best in me. I know that I could do just about anything. And that's what Ida Crown is all about.
Before we begin the final segment of this evening, I want to thank all of the teachers at Ida Crown Jewish Academy. My fellow administrators, Rabbi Fliegelman, Dr. Green, Mr. Harris, Dr. Kahan, and Rabbi Simkovich, and all of our staff, not only for what they do every day, but especially what they have done these past few weeks of unprecedented challenge and adaptation. As many of you know, when the governor closed schools late one Friday afternoon, Ida Crown was ready. Sunday night, all of the teachers met by video conference. Monday, we trained, and by Tuesday morning, every teacher and every student was online, and a full schedule of distance learning was underway. This would not have been possible without the commitment, the talent, and the skill of our ICJA professional staff. You're the best, and you continue to bear the torch of generations of outstanding faculty who have made a difference in the lives of thousands of Ida Crown Jewish Academy students. In addition, this evening would not have been possible without the hard work and dedication of Deva Zwelling, our Director of Development, her associate Carolyn Sofer, our Director of Communications Abigail Bass, Rabbi Benjamin Siegel, who together with Miss Olivia Friedman have been coordinating all of the technology needs this year and especially these last few weeks, and our own video producer, Sean Strimple. Thank you for once again, all coming together, saving the day. I have known Roy and Ellen Bernstein since we were freshmen at the Academy, which seems like just a few years back, but according to the calendar, was many years ago. Sorry, Ellen. We've been friends ever since, and our children have shared in many experiences as well, from the Academy to Moshevam, B'nai Akiva, and more. 3 years ago, tragedy struck the Bernstein family when their son Sammy, who by then was Sam, suddenly passed away. For all who knew Sam, he was a beacon of light and of joy, a young man of great promise, and one who cherished his friends and who was cherished by them. Our entire community was touched by Sam's life and his tragic passing. And we're so very honored that Ellen and Roy have chosen to honor Sam's memory by naming our music program in his memory. I thank them, admire them, and will always be with them. And now I invite you to watch this tribute to Sam.
Sam, a few weeks before he passed away, he posted on Facebook, "Hello all, Monday got you down. weren't able to finish everything you had planned for the weekend because it was just so beautiful out? Well, I have the day off today with nothing in particular planned and would like to volunteer my assistance to anyone who feels they can use an extra hand. Send me a DM and we can take it from there. Wishing all you beauties a wonderful day that perhaps I can make a bit less stressful. Hit me up. Much love.
When Sam was born, he was the first grandchild. He came into the world like a big shot of medicine for everybody in the family.
Family was, a huge part of his life. We grew up, with our cousins, with the siblings, having every holiday together. We meant the world to him, and he meant the world to us also.
He loved people. That was one of the things that drove him. He could strike up a conversation with anybody.
Sammy was exceptional. He really was. He was a really exceptional person. He was one of those people that when you were talking to him, he just gave you his total focus and really was interested in what you had to say.
He could have a conversation with anyone from all walks of life and not just be truly engaged, but also be able to continue the conversation. His depth of knowledge was tremendous.
He was a Renaissance man. He could talk to you about, Torah scholars as easily as he could, talk to you about something he heard on the news that day. Just sucked up knowledge about everything.
That desire and inner drive to learn and grow in his knowledge and education, I think really was, kind of born at the Academy for him. When we were in high school, I feel like that's when he really started to take off.
He definitely enjoyed his time in Ida Crown. He was, found in the hallways playing guitar and hanging out with his friends, and even found sometimes in his classes, played on the basketball team, he was on the debate team, he was involved with politics.
I think he enjoyed the challenge. It might have been too easy. He was a super smart guy. I think he had a lot of respect for some of the English teachers, and he grew like good friendships with some of the science teachers. I think the Academy was definitely a positive experience.
He was extremely passionate. So when you were talking to him, you were talking to him. He gave you his undivided attention, and not only that, he cared. He also thrived, I would say, when it came to his spirituality.
I taught Sammy his bar mitzvah, and he was always so inquisitive and enthusiastic. He was always thinking, questioning, and very smart in just a wonderful way.
Sammy was into tzitzis, and we have some programming over the last year or two in honor and memory of Sammy, where kids have made tzitzis in the classrooms, and that's in Sammy's schus and good name. He had an interesting mix of personality because he was very attached to Judaism and rock and roll, and what a great combination.
At a young age, Sam started hearing the music that Ellen and I would listen to. He liked it, he loved it. He had a great ear for music. He could sit down and hear a song, he could sit down at the piano and play it. He never took a piano lesson in his life.
Oftentimes, if I was in the car with him listening to my own music, he would often say, okay, so we're gonna turn this off. I have to play you this because I just started hearing this music and you're gonna love it. Yeah. So he shared that with everyone wherever he went.
Even if I didn't like the music, I would want to listen to it because he was showing it to me. It just felt like he truly wanted to express his feelings about it so deeply, and I really felt that.
I can imagine Sammy in this building because I know where he would be most of the time. In the music room, playing his guitar. And so it's just natural and so very special at the same time that we're going to remember Sammy in that music room with a music program.
Part of the whole music idea at the Academy was that the Academy never really had a music program. And giving people that opportunity in high school to have that outlet would be something he would really, love and really be in favor of.
It would just thrill him to know that students were given the opportunities, that there would be other students that would enjoy music as much as he did.
There's a teaching that music is comprised of good points coming together. Being able to find the good point in every situation is something that Sammy knew how to do. And he was able to find the good points in each and every one of us. That's what Sammy was, bringing all points together, connecting so many different people of all walks of life.
He was always my call. That's, I guess, would be my hardest thing, is I sometimes think of who to call, and he always seemed to be that call for so many people, and it's very much missed.
I do know in Sam's 28 short years, he touched more people and did more things than most people do. An entire life. How do you thank everybody for being a part of his wonderful life?
There's no time that you can think about Sam and not have good thoughts and feel very deprived that he's not here with us. Sam touched us all. He had the poise, the grace to do that. He is sadly missing. Yeah.
Ellen and Roy, there are no words that I can add beyond thank you. Thank you for honoring his memory by honoring our school. May the music that Sam's life created be available for all of us. May it be a source of comfort for you, and may the music be just like this menorah, whose light lifts straight up to the heavens. May it continue to help Sam's memory be part of all of our lives forever. And now, Ellen and Roy, please, it's your turn.
We'd like to thank everyone for participating in the establishment of the Sam Bernstein Music Program. For anyone who knew Sammy, you know that he would have loved this. We especially want to thank our dear friend and classmate, Rabbi Matenki, for creating this tribute to our son. We want to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful family and friends, and all of Sammy's friends, for all your love and support through the last few years. It's been totally overwhelming. We couldn't have done it without you, and we're very grateful you're here. Thank you, and we love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all of the honorees, thank you for joining us this evening. Your presence, your support is so very important every year, but especially this year. Despite the challenges of COVID-19, our campaign is not yet over. We still need to raise 3 more full scholarships, another $75,000 to go to reach our goal of $1.285 million as part of our annual campaign. Remember, we really do need those 3 F's that I've referred to in the past: your friendship, your freshmen, and your funds. Stay healthy, stay safe, and Chag Kasher V'Sameach, thank you for being part of this very special evening tonight. Good night.
הגיע הזמן להתעורר, לעזוב הכל, להתגבר, לשוב הביתה, לא לחפש מקום אחר. הגיע הזמן להשתנות, גם אם פספסנו תחנות אפשר לרדת, יש רכבת חזרה לשכונות. הכל אפשר רק אם נרצה, המחפש תמיד מוצא, גם אם הוא נמצא אישה מרחק בקצה. דלתות שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע. הוא מוחל וסולח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. להתחרט, אם כבר לברוח אז מאחת, אם כבר לקחת אז לקחת בשביל לתת. וזה הזמן להתקרב, לא לפחד מהכאב, ואם לתת אז כבר לתת מכל הלב. הכל אפשר רק אם נרצה, המחפש תמיד מוצא, גם אם הוא נמצא אישה מרחק בקצה. דלתות שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע. הוא מוחל וסולח, מושיט ידו